I'm really interested to hear about the American drilling as well.
Okay. So, again, wrestling, and again, I'm not like a college or a world-class wrestler. Wrestled in high school, 3 years. But I've been to
good wrestler, though, I know.
But I went to college camps and whatnot. And I have an idea of how they do it, at least. And for me, there's a few parts of it. One, you have just like you're saying, you're doing a specific drill to build speed, technique, power, right? Like very first day of wrestling, you're doing shots all over the place, and you'll do it in a variety of ways. One of them, you'll just do the lunge, So if you're not familiar, heel toe knee touches the ground, power step, drive, and you're gonna do that on the mat. And then they'll give different, accents to it. Like they'll say, okay, now I want you to shoot it as fast as possible. And then another time, I want you to shoot as deep as possible. Mm-hmm. So a different emphasis is what I was talking about, right? So we're focusing on different parts of the technique. Then you get a partner. Now do it against a partner. Now a partner gives you 50% resistance. Now a partner is going to do this specific counter, and you're going to work against it, right? Mm-hmm. So kind of what you're talking about, the specific training, I call it situational training, right? Mm-hmm. Like we create a situation, now respond to it. And I find that to be very helpful, just like you're saying, because you're getting a lot of exposure to a particular position quickly. Mm-hmm. If we were just doing free rolling, we might get there once or twice. Mm-hmm. But if I do a specific drill, now I get there 100 times in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that experience is going to allow you to innovate faster.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I think that's great as well. That's not the drilling that I'm against.
You're talking about more repeating the same thing.
Just the same repetition. But even for a situation like that, I think it's important to do that because it's a very alien position for most humans. I mean, most people are going to avoid sitting there on their knees because it's not very comfortable, a lot of times. I think it's important to force someone into that position to become more comfortable for that. So I think there's also, even if you were just doing the static repetition of it, there's certain things that I feel like, well, it's not going to be too bad because you're going to need to get in that position. There may be, and I haven't even thought about it, there may be more beneficial ways of doing it, but I don't have an issue with that. It's more like once someone can do it and execute it, and then they just continue to do it on and on and on, and like more for jiu-jitsu situations that I see that bother me the most. But like I feel like once you can get your head around a certain position, then you've got to start playing with it live and start figuring out, like we said before, with the problem solving, start developing more information on that rather than just focusing on the technique. And I think a lot of people, they fall down the wrong hole of like, They see a technique, they see, Rafael Mendes or something do something, and they think, okay, if he's done that, that's the best technique, so I've got to do it.
Yeah.
But they don't realize there's so much information in Rafael's head as to why he's doing that. Like he's taking in so much information, and then he executes that. And people see the tip of the iceberg of like, oh, that was the technique, but they don't realize that under that iceberg is this huge amount of information that they're never going to have.
Yeah.
So they kind of read the cover of the book. They practice, they just keep repeating the cover, but they never read the whole fucking book.
Now, the drilling itself, like you just said, I see, you do one of your sweeps, and then, okay, I'm just going to do that. And I do it in a closed environment, and that's all I do. Not super beneficial. I'll get better at it, but without feedback, I'm not growing. So to me, the drilling is a crucial part of the training, but it requires a feedback element, which to me is situational training or sparring.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do that same technique on you, and then something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it works, maybe it didn't, maybe you countered because I messed up. And then I have to come back in and, okay, analyze, observe why did that happen, fix the mistake, and then I drill the new iteration of this move. Because to me, the idea behind drilling is to build proficiency. So you're building speed, you're building strength, you're building power, and depending on the type of drilling you do, timing can come in there as well. Right? But by itself, it's not a solve-all. Right? I can't just get a book and a sparring dummy and do techniques all day and become a world champion. Like I know I need the feedback so I can auto-correct.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a big part of it. Now, like some stuff like you're saying, like wrestling, I think drilling is very crucial to it because of the brutal nature of wrestling.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of 40-year-old wrestlers. Right? No. Because all the throws, all the slams, and generally wrestlers don't break fall because it's not good for them. They get scored on if they break fall. So they're doing hand posts behind their back, and you're gonna bust a shoulder, bust an elbow. So what the drilling allows you to do is get a very good workout that's specific to the type of motions you're going to do in a live situation without the injury risk.
Yeah.
Because
controlled.
It's a controlled environment. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what you're going to do. We're not going to you know, like I've never been hurt drilling.
You know,
right? And I would drill for, I know this is a nightmare, I'm telling you out here, but I would drill for like an hour on end.
Yeah.
And I would pick.
Sounds boring.
When I would prepare for ADCC, I would say it was like 80% drilling, right? But it wasn't, it was one, we were focusing on specific situations, right? Like I know, okay, I need to work on attacking the back and either exposing hooks or getting the finish. Mm-hmm. So we would orchestrate a sequence. I would shoot, you would sprawl, spin, take my back, I would roll, try to get a knee bar, you would counter, and then I would do this. Mm-hmm. And it was orchestrated, but then we would do it at 100%.
Yeah.
So it felt like a live, but it was a lot safer because I knew what was going to happen, you knew what was going to happen, and we would go through this sequence. And we would always vary the situation. Okay, the next day we're going to add this twist to it, and then the next day another twist to it. And those drill sessions were brutal. They were the most exhausting thing ever. And like you said, going into it, you're like, oh crap, all right. You got to really psych yourself up because a lot of people when they drill, I know what Rob hates this too, is like, they're like, okay, and hey, you know, how was your work today? Oh yeah, me too. Like no, that's BS, right? That's not drilling. You know, to me, that's kind of useless. To me, the drilling is 100% intensity. So you're going at it, and it would be back and forth, and we would do like 100 reps each, just boom, 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 boom.
You know this the control thing you mentioned. Don't quote me on this because I'm no Jigoro Kano historian, but I've heard that when he invented katas for longevity.
Yeah.
He wanted when you're in the 40s, 50s, 60s, continue to practice without getting thrown on your head live all the time, which is not realistic when you reach that age, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he invented kata as a way to keep your technique sharp and still practice. You know, I've usually getting judo katas, but they're actually getting thrown, but it's all controlled, like you're describing. It's coordinated.
Yeah.
It's something that it's almost like, there's a coordinated sequence that we go back and forth on, right? Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. You know, I think going live I think wrestling and judo in general are very damaging to the body.
Yeah.
I think that's one reason why they drill so much, because if they went live all the time, it's kind of like Thai fighting. If you went live 100% every day in Thai fighting, you would have a 2-year career. You'd be done. Whereas Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has the advantage of I can go live with you guys 100%. And you might get hurt here and there. It's going to happen, but it's nothing like wrestling, Thai boxing, some of these other martial arts. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is controlled enough on the ground that you can clash with someone at a high intensity, at a high pace, and not get injured every day.
Yeah.